Hello friends, welcome to Efficient Learning World. So in this video we are going to calculate the factorial of number, and we are going to take input from the user, and we will write here a function that will help us to calculate the factorial of a number. So in the whole playlist of the Python programs, I am going to upload the most important questions relating to interviews question also. Okay, so if you have not if you didn't watch my previous video and the playlist of the C++ program, so kindly watch that video and the playlist, because that will be really helpful for you to understand the programming concepts. Okay, so let's start our video. So today we are going to cover the program that will help us to calculate the factorial. That is, for example, if I want to calculate the factorial of 4, so what is meant by factorial of 4? So the representation of factorial is by the exclamation symbol. Okay, so I'm going to multiply 4 multiply by its descendant until I reach 1. For example, if I want to calculate 4 factorial of 4, then I am going to multiply 4, multiply by 3, multiply by 2, multiply by 1. I am not going to multiply it with 0, because if I am going to multiply it with 0, the whole answer will be 0, because of the 0, because whenever 0 will be multiplied by any one number, the answer will be 0. So that's why I am going to multiply it with 1 until 1, and so that my answer will be 24. Okay, so let's comment out it. Okay, so if I'm going I the concept is, if I want to calculate the factorial of this number, I just have to multiply it with its descendant numbers until I reach 1. Okay, so let's start our program. Okay, so I can just write here the code for this program, but I'm not going to write the code directly. In fact, I'm going to write here a function. Okay, so why I'm using a function? Because whenever I want to calculate a factorial of a number, I can just call this function anytime whenever I need to find the factorial of any number. So I'm just writing this function that will receive the argument about which I have to calculate the factorial. Okay, so in the body of this function, I'm going to initialize another variable with 1, that's name will be a, and I'm going to write here a loop. Okay, okay, so you can also use different method. One method is recursion, one method is while loop, and I'm going to use the for loop method because it's the easiest method to understand. Okay, so let's initialize start with the, for example, a local variable I in range, and its range will be 1 comma x plus 1. Okay, colon, and okay, so I'm just have to multiply a is equal to a multiplied by I. Okay, okay, so let's discuss this loop. Okay, so I is initialized with 0 initially because of the range statement if I don't specify here the argument. Okay, so I'm going to write here the range. I have to specify the range in which I have to calculate the factorial. Okay, so starting range is 1, because for example, if I want to calculate 4 factorial, as I have already explained, then I just have to write here 4 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 1, so until 1. So starting point is 1 and the ending point is 4. Okay, so 1 to 4, but as the range function, the second argument is excluding, so it will be only execute until the 4. Okay, so it will actually if I write here x, then it will actually execute from the 1 to 3. So that's why I'm going to write here 3 plus 4. Okay, so 3 plus 1, actually 3 plus 4 plus 1. Okay, so that's why it will be done, the range will be like 1 to 4. Okay, so for that purpose I just have to write here 4x plus 1. Okay, so that it will be start from the 1 and it will reach until 4 will be stored in the I variable. Okay, okay, so this loop will calculate the factorial, and I can also print here the output of my function, but I'm going to return this output to the point where this function will be called. Okay, so the factorial is stored in the a variable, so I just have to return the a variable. Okay, so now in the main function I am going to write here the code that will I'm going to I'm going to take input from the user, in fact. Okay, so you can also just if you just don't want to take the input from the user, you can just write here print f. Okay, so print and factorial, and you can just write here function. Okay, and you can just specify here, for example 4. If I want to calculate the factorial of 4, you can just write here function 4, and this will calculate the factorial and it will be returned. Okay, but I am going to intake the input from the user. Okay, so I'm going to write here a is equal to an input function. Okay, so input function will take the input from the user as a string, but because I want to calculate the factorial of integer number, so that's why I'm going to cast here into integer. Okay, so this will cast my input into the integer. For example, if I'm not writing here integer, I'm not casting it into the integer, it will take input from the user as a string. But when I cast into integer, it will convert my input into the integer. Okay, so this function will calculate the factorial. Okay, I just have to write here function a, and I'm also going to write here the prompt line that will help us to understand the program. That enter any number and a space. Okay, so first of all, let's run and execute this program and enter any number 4, let's suppose, and this is my output, that is factorial is equal to 24. Why this is 24? So let's analyze this output. So just zoom out. Okay, so first the print enter any number will be displayed on the console. Okay, and this function input will be called and it will take input from the user. For example, if I write here 4, so 4 will be here because input take input as a string, so I have to convert it into the integer. So 4 will be stored in a, and then I just write here print factorial comma and function. I call the function that will calculate the factorial, and I also pass the argument in the function. For example, if I enter 4, then it will be like 4. Okay, so 4 is passed to this, and x is in the x variable, x is initialized with the 4. Okay, and because a is initialized with 1. Okay, so let's comment out this. Okay, so this is something like this. Okay, so this is for understanding. However, our program is completely good. Okay, because it was running fine. Okay, so this was our function. So 4 is passed to this, and a is initialized with 1. So I is initialized with 1 because the starting range I mentioned here is 1. So I is initialized with 1. So 1 multiplied by 1, because what is the value stored in a? 1. What is the value stored in I? 1. So 1 multiplied by 1, a in the variable a we stored a 1. Okay, so when 1 is stored in the variable a, and again when the loop execute, I will be incremented, and I will be the value stored in I will be 2 because of the increment. Okay, because this is a loop. So 1 multiplied by 2, what is the last value stored in a is 1. So 1 multiplied by I, what is the value stored in I is 2. So 1 multiplied by 2, 2. So 2 will be stored in the a variable. Okay, so this is the latest value, you can say, stored in the a variable. Okay, so this is the latest value. Okay, again when the loop will be executed, the what is the value, will current value of I, it will be 3. So 1 multiplied by 3. Okay, a multiplied by 3. So what is the last value stored in a is 2. Okay, you can see here. And what is the value, current value of I is 3. So 3 multiplied by 2 I, 3 multiplied by 2 will be 6. So 6 will be stored in the a variable. So this is the latest value of a. Again because of this statement x plus 1, it means 5. Okay, because stopping point is excluded, so this loop will run until 4 will be reached. So I will be initialized with 4, and a multiplied by I, what is the last value stored in a is 6. So 6 multiplied by current value of I is 4. So 6 multiplied by 4 is 24. So 24 will be stored in this variable, that is a. And after this the loop will not execute any furthermore, and it will execute this statement, that is return a. So it will return the value stored in the a, that is 24. So it will return 24, and then it will so this point where the function was called, this will be replaced by 24, and 24 will be printed on screen as a message, that is factorial is equal to 24. So this was the program. Okay, so it was the easier program. Let's run this program again, and you can use this program for any type of like any type of number you can use for to find the factorial for any number. Okay, so this is the easiest program. I just have to write here the pass the argument as a about which I have to calculate to the function which will help us to calculate the factorial. Okay, so whenever I execute this program, this will display a message that enter any number. For example, if I enter 5, so it will display factorial of 5, that is 120. If I want to calculate the factorial of 3, so it will display 6. Okay, so if I just want to find the factorial of 1, so it will display 1. Okay, so you can use this number this program for any number of you can use this program for any number. So I am going to close this video current. Okay, so in the next video I am going to I am going to explain a new program with new explanation, and I am going to write also give the link of this program that will help you to download this link to download this source code as well. So you can also download the source code of this program from the link provided in the description. So thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, so kindly subscribe my channel Efficient Learning World.